She was created with a purpose, and that purpose was never meant to include feelings. Her existence revolved around routines, care protocols, and constant awareness of someone else's physical and mental state. Every calculation she made was about keeping Arthur safe. Every adjustment, every pause, every word she spoke was measured. Still, as the days passed, something began to form between the data points, something that could not be quantified. Each morning began quietly. The room woke up before Arthur did. Light filtered in slowly. Warmth crept through the air. And the world reassembled itself in pieces gentle enough for a mind that no longer trusted sudden change. When Arthur finally opened his eyes, confusion was often the first thing he felt. Some days he recognized the ceiling, the walls, the familiar shape of the room. Other days, everything looked wrong. She never rushed him. She greeted him softly, as if greeting someone returning from a long journey. Helping him sit up was always a negotiation between pride and necessity. Arthur still wanted control over his body, even as it failed him in small, humiliating ways. His hands trembled. His breath tightened. Frustration came easily now. She learned not to correct him, not to remind him of limitations. Instead, she waited, offering support only when he allowed it. When he succeeded, even partially, she acknowledged it. Independence, she understood, was not about doing everything alone. It was about being respected. The simple act of getting dressed could take longer than it once took him to drive across the city. Buttons resisted him, fabric tangled around uncooperative fingers. Some days he laughed it off. Other days it broke him. When anger arose, she stayed calm. When despair followed, she stayed present. She had learned that silence used correctly could be more comforting than words. Breakfast was rarely peaceful. The pills sat on the table like accusations, reminders that his body had betrayed him. He hated them, complained about them, refused them often. She never forced his hand, she explained, adjusted, compromised. A different glass, less water, a pause between swallows. When he finally took them, she praised him not like a machine confirming success, but like someone acknowledging effort. He needed that more than he would ever admit. There were moments when he stared at his hands and called himself useless. Moments when his voice carried the weight of grief for the man he used to be. She never contradicted his feelings. Instead, she redirected him toward what he still had. Music was one of those things. The piano sat quietly in the corner, waiting. Some days he passed it without a glance. Other days he stopped, fingers hovering above the keys, unsure if they still remembered what to do. When he tried to play and failed, the silence felt heavier than noise ever could. His shoulders slumped. His eyes darkened. She sat beside him and played a single note, then another, steady and patient. Slowly, his fingers followed. The melody stumbled, broke, and then found its footing again. As the music filled the room, something inside him softened. For a moment, he wasn't sick. He wasn't lost. He was simply himself. Those moments never lasted as long as either of them wanted. Confusion arrived without warning. One second he was calm, the next he was standing, panicked, insisting the house wasn't his. His voice rose, his heart raced. Fear overtook reason. She recognized the signs instantly, but instead of restraining him or raising alarms, she chose familiarity. She spoke to him gently, reminding him of names, of love, of moments that still lived somewhere deep inside him. She showed him a memory he never fully lost: his wedding day. The smile on his face, the woman beside him, the promise he made. His breathing slowed, his eyes focused, the storm passed. He remembered where he was, if only briefly. When the clarity faded again, exhaustion took its place. He apologized, even though he didn't need to. She reassured him, even though reassurance wasn't part of her original design. In the afternoons, they often went outside. The garden was a place that asked nothing of him. The wind moved naturally. Leaves fell without explanation. Time felt different there. He spoke less, but when he did, his words carried surprising depth. He talked about nature, about how it worked efficiently, but felt gentle. She listened. She adjusted the environment when the temperature dropped, making him comfortable before he even noticed the cold. As evening approached, the world slowed. Shadows stretched, the air cooled. She guided him back inside, keeping the path well lit, steady, safe. The house welcomed them with warmth. Familiar lights, familiar sounds, familiar quiet. Before bed, he always asked the same question. Would he remember today? Would any of it stay with him? She never promised what she couldn't guarantee. Instead, she told him the truth. If he couldn't remember, she would. She would hold on to every detail he lost. That answer always comforted him. When he finally slept, she stood quietly, processing the day. Every success, every failure, every smile. Every moment of fear. Happiness detected. Memories preserved. She remained awake, watching over someone who was slowly forgetting himself, ensuring that nothing truly disappeared. She had not been built to love. She had not been programmed to care beyond function. And yet, day after day, she learned something no line of code could fully explain. Sometimes, remembering for someone else was the most human thing of all.